So it was a chilly day in February 2013, and it was Super Bowl weekend. I was in this high rise in Manhattan attending a famed Super Bowl party. And I was on cloud nine because I had helped start a nonprofit for a major NFL superstar. And not only was I going to a Super Bowl that my team and my contact, my friend was in, but I was also going as a VIP. It was crazy. Like I said, I was on cloud nine, and my guy that was in the Super Bowl was the talk of the town. My name's Sean Guerrero, and I've been in the mortgage industry for about 13 years, and it's blessed me with some incredible experiences. You see, I formed a nonprofit back in the day for an NFL superstar. We packed a Major League Baseball stadium with over 20,000 people into it for a charity event. And I spent time with numerous professional athletes, met a few billionaires, and was comped a private jet membership, went backstage at a Drake concert, hung out with him, as well as meeting Kobe Bryant, who was one of the people that I looked up to the most. And I was able to have a conversation with them. Now, again, like I said, I've done some really cool things. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, are you serious? Did that really happen? And most importantly, dude, why do I even care? Well, it was what I learned in that process, and especially at that Super Bowl party. And that's what I'm going to unpack for you. You see, when I was sitting there and I was looking around that room, there were all kinds of athletes, people that were playing actively inside of the NFL right then. And then there were the retired athletes. And most importantly, there were the business guys. There were the guys who were really just moving and shaking and making things happen. And what I found about that situation was so unique. You see, at a cocktail party, everybody kind of lets down their guard a little bit. Their whole goal is to go out there and network and meet people and have a great time. It was fascinating. The fascinating part was this. When the billionaire guys, the rich guys, the business guys, the up and coming entrepreneurs were around, all they wanted to do was talk about old sports stories, their glory days, what was happening. Same thing that happened with musicians. If you were around the musicians from back in the day, yeah, they might be established in business right now, but they want to talk about that one time that they got to jam in concert with one of their heroes, or one of the times that they killed it on stage. And then when you went over to the other side and you started talking to the athletes, they sat back and they were asking all kinds of questions. They were almost more enamored with the people who were successful in business than the people who were successful in business were that they were talking to somebody in the professional sports or music industry. That blew my mind. And as I started to go through my 13-year career in the mortgage industry, as I started to do things and work in other business ventures, I looked around and I noticed all of the sports and music people wanted to be connected with the business athletes, and all of the athletes wanted to know what the people in business knew. They actually weren't that different. And keeping that mindset, that's what I'm going to share with you today. You know, there's a Drake song that's out and it's called Thank Me Now. It's an older one. You know, Drake's gone through in time and obviously developed a sound. But one of the things that he said in there, he said, sports and music, it's so synonymous because they want to be, or we want to be them and they want to be us. And that is so true. As I would read different articles, I would find out that athletes typically made for the best employees. And why is that? You think about it. You know, and I do believe the same with people that have served in the military, people who have been in music or the arts. It's because they understand how to perform, and especially under pressure. And it's what they do daily. It's the habits they have. And habits are incredibly helpful. It's the little things you do every single day. I remember hearing a quote from one of my mentors, and he said, Sean, no one raindrop ever felt responsible for the flood. And how true is that? It's just those little things that you do that make it into something great. So that's what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about the connection between sports and music and other passions and business. How do they overlap? Where do they connect? How is it that every guy that's in sports, every guy that's in business will sit back and he's still going to have that old high school football or basketball story for you? And then the guy that's on the sports side, he is always talking about his next business move and who he's met throughout his career and what it's led him to afterwards. You think about it a lot. Some of the best people in business have a background in sports. They know how to work in teams. They understand how to have that aggressive nature and when to dial it back. They understand structure, order, predictability that you typically seen drawn up in plays. Even a ton of the analogies that we use in business happen because, well, it's connected to sports. This is how things are done. And we're going to find out how people who are successful in business connect back to the sports and music world, and how people who are in the sports world currently connect to business. All right, guys. Well, that's what Ritually Connected is about. I look forward to answering your questions. I look forward a lot to many of the guests that are already lined up and who are going to be on here, because it's just going to be fun. A lot of them are my friends, people I've met over the years, and you're going to see just how richly connected these people are. Maybe not even in the sense of wealth, but in the sense of they can sit back and they can say, you know what? That used to be an old high school football friend of mine. Or that person over there is someone that is in my fantasy football league. It could be the weirdest stuff. And trust me, I have seen it. And that's what you're going to be able to experience. That is what I am excited to share with you. So make sure you buckle up for this raw, gritty, but fun experience of a podcast where, yeah, we're going to talk a lot of shit and we're going to laugh and have fun. But at the same time, you're going to learn something from each one of these guests, and I'm going to help unpack it for you so that you can take it. And if you are somebody who is just getting into a different field and as far as a career goes, or maybe you're looking to bridge into another field and you want to figure out, okay, maybe back in the day, I did martial arts. Well, how does martial arts help me today into what I'm going to be doing tomorrow? I cannot wait to share this experience with you, to introduce you to some of my friends and people that I find to be absolutely incredible and interesting. Of course, this is going to be available on all the different platforms, including YouTube if you're watching it on there, so that you'll be able to see and hear and talk to some of my guests, as well as, of course, iTunes, Spotify, and all the other platforms. So give it a like, give it a share, give it a subscribe. I am hyped. And I can't wait to share some of the behind the scenes stories of just what the hell happened and how I found myself in some crazy ass situations. And of course, what I learned from them, because not all of the experiences were good. Trust me, I've had some experiences that will actually shock some people. And now I'm thankful that I'm around to go ahead and laugh at them. So, of course, guys, if you have questions, if you have comments, leave them. I will be responding. Check me out on social media. And thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of Richly Connected. I can't wait to talk to you guys soon.